This episode is sponsored by Noom. If you're like me, you may have seen a lot online about GLP-1 medication. Noom is a leader in behavior change weight loss, and they now offer Noom GLP-1, a compounded semaglutide. Noom GLP-1 is affordable. It starts at only $149. I feel like a lot of people think these type of medications may be out of their reach financially, but Noom offer a very affordable option at $149. For those that qualify, Noom GLP-1 is available and ships to your door in 7 days. Noom combines their proven weight loss program with GLP-1s so that you can lose weight and keep it off, which I know sometimes you can lose the weight. It's always hard to keep it off, but Noom's GLP-1s can really help with that. Noom GLP-1 comes with Companion, which is your guide to better and more sustainable GLP-1 weight loss, which is so helpful.
With Noom GLP-1, you get access to a doctor, a coach, and a supportive community, all from within the app on your phone. Ask your care team anything and get support with medication and side effect management. Noom GLP-1 starts at $149 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, the smart way to lose weight. Disclaimer, not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality.
What if I told you that right now, millions of people are living with a debilitating condition that's so misunderstood, many of them don't even know that they have it? That condition is obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. I'm Dr. Patrick McGrath, the Chief Clinical Officer of NoCD. And in the 25 years I've been treating OCD, I've met so many people who are suffering from the condition in silence, unaware of just what it was. OCD can create overwhelming anxiety and fear around what you value most, make you question your identity, beliefs, and morals, and drive you to perform mentally and physically draining compulsions or rituals. Over my career, I've seen just how devastating OCD can be when it's left untreated. But help is available. That's where NoCD comes in. NoCD is the world's largest virtual therapy provider for obsessive compulsive disorder. Our licensed therapists are trained in exposure and response prevention therapy, a specialized treatment proven to be incredibly effective for OCD. So visit nocd.com to schedule a free 15-minute call with our team. That's nocd.com.
The True Crime Society podcast contains adult themes and violence and is not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. And if you'd like to skip the intro or move to any specific part of the podcast, please refer to the timestamps listed in the episode description. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the True Crime Society podcast with Stephanie and Olivia. It is April 22nd right now. We're recording 2025. Recording a couple days earlier than normal, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it really throws me off my schedule. I sent you a screenshot of all the reminders of text to myself because I'm like, we have to record this, we have to do this, I have to edit this, I have to edit the Patreon, I have to put it out for Patreon, then I gotta post it on the other website. So literally I just schedule text to myself around the times where I think I should be thinking of doing it, because I get so paranoid that I'm gonna forget something, because not to be like, oh, we have ads, but when you have obligations and other people involved, you're like, oh my God, and plus, obviously, I don't want to let you guys down. If I forget to post something or upload something, the fear that happens when I forget to do something, sickening. It's a panic.
I do feel like there are pluses and minuses. Because we usually have a general recording schedule, and sometimes we mix it, have to change it for different reasons. But then I guess this way we get a bit of a longer break in between when we record next. But then on the other side, I had to be very organized because I feel like we just finished recording last week and now we're recording again. But that's life.
Yeah, I mean, for me, sometimes it's nice to do a different day because normally when we do it on Thursday my time, we record regular episode, Patreon episode, then after recording for 2.5 hours, then I edit the Patreon episode to post the next morning. Whereas today, I can just record and not have to edit. And then I'll edit the Patreon episode on Thursday, and that it won't take up my whole night. It won't be a marathon of a day. So sometimes it's nice.
Yeah, it's very. I think we've figured out now how to juggle with the time zones, because I work my real job Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We record Friday morning my time, so it's there's not often a lot of room for movement and changing things. But anyway, we are this week.
Yeah, so it is a Tuesday. It's nice because it's also 7:30 here in New York, PM, obviously, and it's still sunny out. It's amazing. I was just saying again, which I know we keep saying it, but it's such like a good slap in the face when the weather finally starts getting nice again, where you're just like, wow, the depression is gone.
Disappears so
It
quickly
feels
once
good.
the sun is out.
Yeah, as soon as I go outside and get a little bit of the 70-degree day, a little bit of sun, some fresh air full of pollen in my lungs. Feels great besides the pollen part, but it's definitely nice to get out of the gray, cloudy weather that we've had for 2 months straight, it feels like.
Yeah.
We did also want to give a shout out to, we decided we're going to read some nice comments or reviews that we get here and there. Maybe it'll motivate you guys to do it more.
Yeah, because like when we do see them on, like, because sometimes people will like send us an
Post them.
Instagram message, or someone will send us some leave a Spotify comment, so we do share them with each other. But like, we do honestly appreciate it so much. It's such a nice thing for people to take their time to do, to write us a nice comment. And like, don't get me wrong, we still get the occasional mean comment. We did have one this week, which I just wanted to kind of reiterate again, because it's been a minute, that just to check the timestamps. If you don't like the chat, on every set of show notes there are timestamps, especially on Spotify and I think other platforms. You can click and it will take you straight to the crime if you don't want to hear the chat. Someone was like the other day, I've been listening for 8 minutes and you're not at the story already. And I was just like, oh my gosh, we've told you so many times. Please just go click on the timestamp. So there's that. But we did have a really lovely message this past week from someone called Wallace. So shout out to Wallace, listener of the week.
Thank you, Wallace.
I don't know if it's male or female, but Wallace wrote, I'm very fussy about my podcasts and I love you too. You do thorough research, present it well, and have good chemistry as co-presenters. And you have the best intro music of all podcasts I have ever listened to. Thank you. That was so nice.
Woo! Thanks, Wallace. Yeah, no, it is great because, not to like go on and on, but sometimes I do feel like I have imposter syndrome because we do have a good amount of listeners and it's just a number on a screen, but when you really think about it, to think like there's all these people that listen to me and you, like I'm sitting here in my bed that is in my little house. It's kind of a mess. Peep is in my lap. I don't have like this professional podcast setup studio or anything like that. So I'm just like, wait, you all are listening to me? So thank you. We do appreciate it. We do enjoy doing this. It's great, as much as we sometimes whine and we're tired. It's amazing. We're very lucky. So thank you all. Yeah, and now I got a baby to support, so keep listening. And I don't just mean Peep and Fresh Butt. But they also need support as well. They're very needy cats. All right, so let's get into it for the chat haters. We're going to be talking about today this potential serial killer in New England that I've been hearing all about. And if you've listened for a while, you know that I have said, and people are always out to message me and be like, you're wrong, that there will never be a serial killer like there used to be. And I stand by that because I don't think there is a serial killer. I don't. I'll say it now.
I feel like this is one that if you feel passionately that there isn't a serial killer, you are very passionate about it. Like, I've read a lot of kind of angry comments online from people who think this theory is so ridiculous, which I understand it probably could be. But I feel like we've done a poll, which we'll get into, and the majority of people do seem to believe there may be a serial killer. But we are not saying there is. That's just been reported that there may be these connections. So what we're going to do is go through why people are thinking increasingly there might be something going on in the area.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those people that's very passionate about it yet, because I'm not, and I'll always just feel this way. So we'll get into more of like our thoughts on the whole thing at the end, but I just wanted to throw it out there at the start so that you can gather your evidence as you listen, your evidence against me or to agree with me.
Rich, authorities are investigating the death of a woman found unresponsive off a bike path near the Connecticut riverfront Tuesday. Now, this woman's name and age have not been released, but her death follows 7 others between March and April in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Human remains, mostly female, have been found in New Haven, Connecticut, Norwalk, Groton, and Killingly, Foster, Rhode Island, Framingham, Plymouth, and now Springfield. Authorities have not announced any connection between the deaths, and Dr. Peter Valentine from the University of New Haven says there is not enough known physical evidence to link them.
We really want to be careful about how we interpret the value of the forensic evidence that we're recovering, and that tends to be the most difficult thing, is not to overinterpret the evidence that we recover.
Initial rumors spread through a New England serial killer Facebook group where users say these remains could indicate a serial killer. But experts say just because victims were located at the same time does not mean they died at the same time or the same way. Now, Springfield police have not determined whether this 8th woman's death was a homicide, but 22 News will continue to follow this story.
So, if you haven't heard, there has been remains of multiple people found around the New England area in the span of the last month or so, and a lot of people are thinking it could be a serial killer. So the remains have been found in 4 towns in Connecticut, 1 town in Massachusetts, and 1 location in Rhode Island. And then so in the last couple of days alone, there's actually been a few more remains found in Rhode Island and Massachusetts also.
And if you're like me and you're not familiar with what New England is, because it's not a state, it's a bunch of states. It's 6 states: Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. So it's kind of like the top northeastern part of the US. It's a bunch of different states, if you're wondering where the location is, if you're not familiar with the area.
Yeah, it's like everything kind of to the right of New York if you're looking at a map. Before we get into the episode, we have a quick word from our sponsor, Skylight Frames. With Mother's Day coming up, I'm sure you guys are looking for some great gift ideas, and I have the perfect gift for you. I know a lot of our listeners are moms, so I'm sure that you guys can relate to this when your kid reminds you about a school project at bedtime the evening before it's due. Sound familiar? But with Skylight Calendar, you can avoid these last-minute oops moments. It keeps your family's schedule in one place, so the only surprises in your life are fun ones, like finding money in your winter coat. Skylight Calendar was designed to connect the digital and non-digital worlds while bringing families together. It's Wi-Fi connected digital display that showcases your family's schedule with clarity, color, and brilliance in a 10 or 15-inch HD touchscreen. This all-in-one smart calendar syncs seamlessly with Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook, and more, giving you customizable views for daily, weekly, or monthly planning. With the free Skylight Companion app, you can add or update events, lists, and more on the go. Your happiness is Skylight's happiness, so if in 120 days you're not 100% thrilled with your purchase, you can return it for a full refund, no questions asked. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/TCS. Go to skylightcal.com/TCS for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's skylightcal.com/TCS. So we're going to go through the victims that have been found so far and the order that they were found. So the first is the body of Paige Fannin. She was 35 years old, and she was found on March 6th, 2025 in Norwalk, Connecticut.
And also just to add, obviously, these victims that we're going to go through today, I'm sure there's been other crimes that have happened in the past in that area, but these are the victims that they are now insinuating may be connected to this alleged serial killer. So if you're like, why didn't you include this person and this person? This is basically the start of the serial killer theory, is from March 2025.
Yeah, like it's only in this time span. That Paige was from West Islip, New York. She was last seen in Wilton in the area of Schneck's Island on Wednesday, March 5th around noon. She was reported as a missing person in New York on March 4th, and this is a bit confusing because it seems like she was reported missing the day before she was last seen. Maybe there was a sighting of her, but I don't know. There hasn't really been clarification on that.
Yeah, I tried to look and see if that was like an error in reporting, but basically every single source I've seen says that she was last seen on March 5th, but she was reported missing on March 4th. So a little bit strange, but I feel like it's probably just someone said, hey, yeah, I did see her that day at this place.
So Paige's body was found by Norwalk Police's scuba team on March 6th. Her clothing and personal items were found on the bank of the Norwalk River at the time.
So yeah,
On
there's
the
been
same
nothing
day-
else. Sorry, there's been nothing else on page. Like they haven't really seen her cause of death mentioned. It is kind of insinuated that the police knew where to search for her. They thought she'd gone into the river,
Yeah,
and
they had
that's
a
where they
scuba
found
team.
her. So like, there's been nothing else really released in terms of why she ended up in the river, how, all that type of stuff. That is all we know at this stage.
Yeah, and as we go through some of these people, the remains that they found, some have more information than others. I do think now that there's a lot of
Media
sensationalism, media
Yeah.
attention, they're being a little bit more tight-lipped also. But that's why some just have more information than others. So, on the same day that Paige's remains were discovered, human remains were found in Plymouth, Massachusetts. This is around 178 miles east from where Paige was found. The remains were found by a hunter in a wooded area, and the hunter first thought that the remains belonged to an animal, but it was soon discovered that the bone was actually the top of a human skull, with its jaw and nasal area missing. According to NamUs, these remains belonged to a male. So that's all we know about that one.
I feel like too, this is all like already the start of an interesting discussion, because usually serial killers have a type. Like obviously I'm generalizing. I'm sure there are some who kill indiscriminately, but already we're at a male and a female. So kind of an interesting.
So that's like red flag number 1 to me.
Yeah.
And red flag number 2 is these are pretty far apart.
Yeah. I feel like it's just because they can all be connected to this New England area. Do you know what? If this was one state, I'd be like, yeah, maybe something is going on, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves with theories. But this is quite a large area and a large number of states that is covered by this New England compass.
It is. For me to get to like far into Massachusetts, it's still like a 4 or 5 hour drive from New York. But I also think people hear New England, and if you're not from around here, you kind of don't realize how big of an area it is. You're just like, whoa, they're all in the New England area. That's a pretty big area, like you were just saying. So on March 19th, 2025, in Groton, Connecticut, the body of a female was found inside a suitcase. The suitcase had been dumped near a cemetery. The remains are said to belong to a female aged 40 to 60 years old. As of the time of recording, this victim has not been identified. The victim is said to have had light pigmented skin and that she may have possibly had Turner syndrome. And the symptoms of Turner syndrome include a short stature, broad chest, short, wide neck, and small chin. Never heard of that.
No, they're not to us.
So this info about the remains is from NamUs. It says, on March 19th, 2025, the unidentified remains of a woman were discovered near a trash can at the entrance of Colonel Ledyard Cemetery in Groton, Connecticut. While law enforcement has not officially released details regarding the condition of the body, local reports suggest the victim was found inside a suitcase with both her head and hands missing. Authorities believe the body was placed at the location sometime between February 13th and February 18th, and that the woman was most likely killed shortly before. The location where the remains are found is in a visible area near the road at the entrance of the cemetery. Multiple individuals have since come forward stating they noticed the suitcase at the site in the weeks prior to the discovery. And it just kind of goes through what's the word for these things?
The descriptors of her remains and what were found with her. I guess like it just says basically it's a Caucasian female, adult pre-60s. They don't know the eye color, the hair color. The only interesting things, I guess, it says that she was found with a blue shirt. The tag reads Belmont, New York, 1 size, and she had pink underwear, Hanes size 7 large on. So that's kind of, I guess, could be an identifier if someone has any idea about that. But it seems very generic, very, very few details.
Yeah. So at the time, the police told the media that there was no reason to believe these remains may be connected to the other cases. They said there's no information at this time suggesting any connection to similar discoveries in Rhode Island and Connecticut and the Connecticut shoreline area. And there's also no known threat to the public at this time. The Groton police chief said, I would tell people don't rush to judgment. So another difference to me is this body was in a suitcase. The other ones were not.
And also it was missing head and hands. Like obviously we know that the other one was just a piece of a skull, but it's very different. Like Paige was found in a river. This is it does seem different too, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did look up if Turner syndrome was fatal because I thought maybe this could have been something where someone, like a caregiver, for example, dumped a body. It does say it's generally not fatal. It can lead to a slightly reduced lifespan. But also, if you're a caregiver for someone with Turner syndrome, are you really cutting off their arms and their heads
beheading
and
them?
like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely seems like some foul play.
Yeah.
On March 20th, 25, the body of Denise Leary, 59, was found in New Haven, Connecticut. Denise went missing in September 2024 from her home in New Haven. Authorities said at the time that she may have been struggling with her mental health. Her bedroom door was locked from the inside, and the bedroom window was open, indicating that she perhaps left through the window. Also, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you want to look it up quickly, but I think that New Haven is a pretty dangerous area. Also,
All right, I'll just look
it's
it
worth
up.
mentioning.
In terms of crime in New Haven, which may, I guess, contribute to what happened to Denise, it says New Haven experiences a higher crime rate compared to the national average. The crime rate is 1.6 higher than the national average, or 93% higher than other cities. The crime rate is approximately 49 per 1,000 residents.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more dangerous, if not, definitely one of the more dangerous cities in Connecticut, as far as I know. I live kind of near Connecticut. I've been to New Haven. It's definitely known to be a more dangerous area. Obviously, for people are like, it's not all dangerous. Like, some parts are nice, but it's known to have dangerous areas.
Just to give you an idea, it says that the crime rate in 2022 was 571, and comparing that to other areas, Raleigh, North Carolina was 506, Miami was 273, so way more than Miami, and Virginia Beach was 93. So it does have quite a high crime rate.
So Denise grew up in Connecticut with 4 siblings. Her brother Michael spoke to Dateline after she went missing. He said, "We were very close. I always had a responsibility to make sure my sisters were okay." Denise eventually moved to Atlanta, and there she settled with her 2 children, Joshua and Morgan. Joshua described his mother as his best friend. He said, "I tell her everything, whether I'm having a relationship or anything that I'm going through. I know she's there to guide and help me." Denise moved back to Connecticut in 2022 after her mother had a stroke. She wanted to help care for her aging parents. Michael said that he spoke to Denise a few days before she disappeared. They were discussing a variety of things, from their mother to his own health struggles. He said, "I had no idea that she had so much going on in her mind." Joshua said that the weeks prior to his mother's disappearance were a particularly difficult time for her. He said she suffered with mental health and anxiety and really bad depression. A few nights prior to Denise's disappearance, Joshua found her behavior concerning. He said around 10:30 p.m., she said she was going out. She was like, "Turn my location off on my phone." He says he reluctantly did as his mother requested, and he said, "So I tried to look out the window to see who was picking her up." He said that Denise left the home, but he was unable to see who picked her up, but she did return home safe later that night. If, like, my mom or someone whose location was normally on was telling me to turn off their location, I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, what is going on?
Yeah. On the morning of September 30th, 2024, Joshua knocked on his mother's bedroom door, and there was no reply. He became concerned when his grandmother's nurse came to the house and Denise still didn't emerge. He said, "The door was locked from the inside, so nobody could get in. So I called my auntie, and my auntie was like, 'Call the paramedics to knock down the door.'" Joshua says he did as he was told, and when the paramedics arrived, they knocked on the door, and he said they were like, "Nobody's in here." But the bedroom window was open, and Joshua said that's when they said it looked like somebody jumped out the window. Paramedics said that they thought Denise used a cable cord to hoist herself out of the window, and footprints were found near the house. Joshua started tracking Denise's phone, and it pinged in Westport, Connecticut. 30 minutes later, it tracked to a park in New Haven. Her phone was found on the second day of the search. Joshua said her phone was behind a neighbor's house in my grandma's neighborhood. The New Haven Police Department told Dateline they conducted multiple searches involving different agencies in the area where Denise was last seen, utilizing canine units and drones. The police department stressed they are exhausting every investigative lead that they can, and the search is continuing and ongoing. Authorities have said that Denise suffered from paranoid schizophrenia as well. According to police, a family friend reported seeing Denise in Hamden, Connecticut, in the area of Dixwell Avenue near Stop and Shop, and said she did not appear to be in distress at the time. They also added they have retrieved surveillance footage, which is currently being analyzed. Police did say that there was no evidence of foul play. And Denise's family searched an abandoned house in their neighborhood. They found Denise's makeup palette inside, which is interesting. As we mentioned, Denise's remains were found in March of 2025. According to a post from the New Haven Police Department, residents in the area reported finding human remains while clearing brush in a wooded area behind a house. The remains, which were in an advanced state of decay, were then taken to the office of the chief medical examiner for identification.
The family reported her missing, but she was gone for such a long time. It's such a shock, to the area.
Dorothy Wilson, who's called New Haven's Rock Creek Road home for roughly 70 years, reacting to the heartbreaking news that the remains of 59-year-old Denise Leary, missing for nearly 6 months, were just identified after being found last week.
Our detectives went out and went to the office of the chief medical examiner. They were able to determine that this was a missing person who we had been looking for since the end of September.
New Haven police tell us homeowners on the 100 block of Rock Creek Road were clearing brush in a wooded area behind their property when they made the discovery Thursday evening. Leary was last seen back on September 30th, not too far away near her home on Rock Creek Road. At the time, police were concerned for her safety, emphasizing she had some mental health issues.
We had been searching for her pretty extensively. We had detectives on foot, we had drones in the air, we had dogs. We were really hoping we were going to find her. This is clearly not the end that we were hoping for.
And those in this neighborhood are now just thinking of a family that's been through so much.
For all that length of time, too, not knowing, that's the whole thing. And every day you just think, where could she possibly be?
And New Haven police tell us they are still waiting on word from the Office of the Medical Examiner on the cause and manner of death. Your reporter live in New Haven, Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So New Haven is about 156 miles west of Plymouth and about 50 miles west of Groton. In the area, but still pretty far away.
Yeah, and we are now around a month, a little bit more than a month from the time that Denise's remains were found. They haven't released a cause of death yet. I'm assuming her remains were quite decomposed, but they haven't said publicly how she passed away yet, so we don't know that.
Regardless of serial killer or not, her story's pretty interesting. A lot of mystery and what was going on.
I do feel like a lot of it could be attributed to her paranoid schizophrenia. Like maybe she was hiding in the abandoned house and she dropped the pallet there, and that's why the phone was found near there as well. But it is interesting that she...
But like, where'd she go? And
also,
the location turned off?
The paranoid schizophrenia goes along with the location. Like, I don't want anyone to know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm like, did someone actually pick her up that night?
Yeah.
If someone did.
It sounds like he didn't say that she walked away. He said he didn't see who picked her up, but I guess that could be interpreted a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Noom. If you're like me, you may have seen a lot online about GLP-1 medication. Noom is a leader in behavior change weight loss, and they now offer Noom GLP-1, a compounded semaglutide. Noom GLP-1 is affordable. It starts at only $149. I feel like a lot of people think these type of medications may be out of their reach financially, but Noom offer a very affordable option at $149. For those that qualify, Noom GLP-1 is available and ships to your door in 7 days. Noom combines their proven weight loss program with GLP-1s so that you can lose weight and keep it off, which I know sometimes you can lose the weight. It's always hard to keep it off, but Noom's GLP-1s can really help with that. Noom GLP-1 comes with Companion, which is your guide to better and more sustainable GLP-1 weight loss, which is so helpful.
With Noom GLP-1, you get access to a doctor, a coach, and a supportive community, all from within the app on your phone. Ask your care team anything and get support with medication and side effect management. Noom GLP-1 starts at $149 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, the smart way to lose weight. Disclaimer, not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality.
Imagine for a minute, imagine the best version of you, where you look and feel your best self, where your confidence shines through every day. This is how your skincare routine should make you feel. An easy-to-use system giving your skin exactly what it needs so you look and feel your best. Well, imagine no more, because Meaningful Beauty has arrived. Businesswoman, entrepreneur, and supermodel Cindy Crawford founded Meaningful Beauty with world-renowned cosmetic specialist Dr. Sabah to share his age maintenance-focused skincare treatments and formulas. Cindy has been consistently using this breakthrough age maintenance system to protect her skin and prevent premature signs of aging for over 20 years. If there's proof of the power of consistent age maintenance, you only have to look at Cindy. She's not gorgeous for her age, she's just gorgeous. Inside and out, she's a shining example of a never too early, never too late to start an age maintenance practice that meaningfully embraces your age. Nature provides ways to protect us from the environment, and Meaningful Beauty's secret is a unique and powerful antioxidant derived from a genetically rare melon found only in the south of France, a region known for women having beautiful skin. I love the 7-piece deluxe face and neck skincare system featuring effective serums, treatments, and creams formulated to work together to provide exactly what you need to achieve a more radiant, youthful appearance. Personally, I've been really loving the Youth Activating Melon Serum. It smells so delicious, feels incredible, and my skin looks amazing. And I've been getting so many compliments on how my skin has been looking recently. Over 5 million women have used Meaningful Beauty for its innovative formulas that help achieve radiant, younger-looking skin and hair so you can look and feel your best at every age. That gives you confidence to go out and live your life fully, whatever that means to you. Amazingly, after using Meaningful Beauty for 8 weeks, 100% of women said their skin looks vibrant and bright. It's never too late and it's never too early to start taking care of your skin. Try the Meaningful Beauty 7-piece deluxe face and neck skincare system for 60 days. If you're not completely satisfied, just return the bottles, even if empty, and get your money back. And remember, your confidence is beautiful too. Tomorrow's Gorgeous starts today. Go to meaningfulbeauty.com/glow to receive 25% off and get the Targeted Treatment Duo gift set for free. Go to meaningfulbeauty.com/glow to receive 25% off and get the Targeted Treatment Duo gift set for free. meaningfulbeauty.com/glow.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop, because members get cash back at over 3,500 stores across every category, including fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, and more. Your favorite stores like Walmart, Lenovo, and Wine.com pay Rakuten a commission for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the commission with its members, and that could be you. Cashback is deposited directly into your PayPal account, or, if you prefer, Rakuten can send you a check. The choice is yours. You can even maximize your savings by stacking cashback on top of other deals, like store sales and coupons. You're already shopping at your favorite stores, why not save while you're doing it? Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
So on March 26, 2025, the body of Michelle Romano, who was 56, was found in Foster, Rhode Island 8 months after she disappeared. These are some details about her disappearance. It says, last seen around July 22nd, 2024 in the Oakland Beach area of Warwick, Rhode Island. Michelle's natural hair is black, but she may be wearing a wig, and was last seen with shoulder-length bronze hair with blonde highlights. She has a mole on her upper lip. She has a tattoo of a vine on her left-hand wrist. Just goes into all her tattoos. Family reports that it is uncharacteristic for Michelle to be gone for so long and are concerned for her well-being. She does not have a vehicle. So Michelle's body was found in a wooded area near Plainfield Pike in Foster. So there are some photos. It looks quite desolate, like a wooded area, how it looks kind of in winter. There's no leaves on the trees. It reminds me of the Long Island serial killer scenery. It's very, desolate, I guess is the main word I'd use for it.
Yeah.
So investigators from the Rhode Island State Police, the Warwick Police Department, and the Office of the Attorney General said they are jointly examining the suspicious circumstances regarding Miss Romano's death. A local resident spoke about the discovery of the body. His name was Tom Slater, and he said that he recalled seeing several police cruisers outside of his home. He said, they just said they found a suspicious trash bag. But yeah, being in the fire service, I knew they found a body. So it hasn't really been clarified if Michelle's body was found in the trash bag or if there were other things found relating to her. It does imply to me that she was found in a trash bag, but I'm not entirely sure. Police haven't confirmed that.
Yeah.
A friend of Michelle's named John said that she was the mother of 2 and that her children meant the world to her. He said she deserves justice. She didn't just die and end up in the woods. Someone has to be accountable for what happened to her. One thing I feel is really important in this case is Michelle, in all the articles about this alleged serial killer Michelle is mentioned, her family are very, very adamant that they don't believe that her death involved a serial killer. They have a page called Justice for Michelle Romano. This is the statement they released about that. It says, in light of recent comments being made, we know that Michelle's passing is in no way related to any type of serial killer. We have complete faith in the state police and our PI that the person responsible will be brought to justice sooner rather than later. Then it goes on, stop trying to group her own with an alleged serial killer, as that is absolutely not the case. Please contact the investigator with any information. So it sounds like that maybe they have some more of an idea that they're not making public about what happened to Michelle. I do wonder if she struggled with addiction or mental health, and that they know maybe more about the last person that she was seen with, and that's why they are so adamant. Like, there has to be some reason they are saying she's absolutely not connected to any of these others.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. They definitely seem to know more, obviously, for being so adamant that that is not the case. So
yeah,
I think with her, she's probably definitely not connected to the others. I mean, obviously, who's to say, but it seems like they know that there's more going on here.
So again, as of, the last few weeks, police have said her death is suspicious, but that they haven't confirmed how she died. We don't know. If we do find out, we will give you some updates. Her obituary has just been released. It says Michelle Romano passed away unexpectedly. It says that she graduated from Coventry High School, class of 86, where she made lifelong friendships. She worked throughout Rhode Island, and most recently she worked as an advocate for those with intellectual and development disabilities. She loved spending time in nature, especially at the beach, and loved painting and listening to music. And they described her radiant energy, generosity, and bubbly personality will be missed by all who knew her. So her memorial service is actually happening on the 24th of April, so a little while after she was found, but obviously there's an investigation that needs to happen. So on April 3rd, we are at now, so we're now into April, a witness called in reports of a suspicious man at Bluff Point State Park in Groton, Connecticut. So if you remember, this is where the other remains. There's a lot of activity in Groton, which seems to kind of be the main focus of this serial killer theory. But that was where some of the other remains that we mentioned earlier were found. There's a portion of the call reporting that incident to the Groton Police Department that has been made public. The caller said, I went back around, turned the other way. He went back the other way, and then he started walking back as I turned around to walk back to the car. So that in itself doesn't really sound especially suspicious. These people were both in the state park at the same time. A state park is where people go for a walk, essentially. But that is what the caller reported at the time. So that's all we know. But then after that, posts started being made online, which kind of, I guess, sensationalized the event. The police,
or it's like telephone, where people just can't keep the fucking story straight.
Yeah. So police have said the posts that have been made online have contradicted what was said in the call. The police chief said, what I heard on our phone call initially was remarkably different from what we saw posted over the last weekend. Facebook posts do state that apparently this suspicious man in the state park pulled out a switchblade knife, which wasn't in the call, and I think that's what the chief is mainly referring to. The chief said, what I can say is we don't believe there's any connection between them, but I've seen people draw conclusions. I've seen the stuff, and it's causing a little bit of concern in our community. On April 9th, 2025, remains were found in Killingley, Connecticut. This info about the discovery of the remains is from WTNH.com. It says, state police confirmed human remains were found in Killingley this week. Troopers were first dispatched to the area around 4:30 p.m. Wednesday. Eastern District Major Crimes detectives are assisting in the investigation, which remains active. State police have said there is no known threat to the public, which is our favourite saying, which I still don't know how they could possibly know that if they haven't really.
People are still getting murdered, whether it's a serial killer or not.
Yeah.
Or killed or are dead anyways.
Yeah. So Connecticut State Police told the media, this investigation is in the early stages. It remains active and ongoing. There is no information at this time suggesting any connection to similar remains discoveries actively under investigation by CSP or other Connecticut law enforcement agencies. So, in the last few days, 2 more bodies have been found in the New England area. The first one was found in Rhode Island. This is information about that. It says, so we are now recording on Tuesday. This body was found Sunday. It says Pawtucket police on Sunday pulled a body from the Seekonk River. Police were on the water and along the shoreline opposite the stadium at Tidewater Landing for hours. They said they received reports of a possible body in the water at around 5:30 p.m. One witness said, I just came down to the river. There were 4 or 5 police cars, a couple of fire trucks, and the rescue boat. They were doing something over there. Then I see them load something into the rescue. They did everything they were supposed to do. So the second one was just found literally today in Springfield, Massachusetts. As I was doing my morning scroll, I saw someone in the area was posting photos of this recovery effort. And there's been some articles that have come out. It says Springfield police are investigating the discovery of a body along the city's riverfront Tuesday morning. Officers were called to the area at around 8 a.m. for the report of an unresponsive individual near the bike path. It was an adult woman that was found to be deceased. It says the Springfield Police Department Homicide Unit will conduct an unattended death investigation pending an autopsy by the medical examiner. The name and age of the victim has not been released at this time. So 2 literally in the last few days, which is interesting. We were kind of chatting before we recorded this, and like maybe one theory is that because the weather is getting nicer, people are out and about more, so that's why they are finding these bodies. That's why people are having accidents and going into rivers and creeks and lakes and things like that. Maybe, I don't know, but interesting that there have been 2 literally in 3 days.
Being from the area, I said to Olivia, that's what I feel like a lot of it is coming down to. Like, of course, it's crazy to be like, oh my God, all these bodies are popping up. But if you think about it, early March here, when some of the bodies were starting to be found, things are still cold, but starting to unfreeze. There's warmer days. Things are starting to melt after being frozen for the whole winter. And then between March and now, like towards the end of April, like we've had some days that are 80 degrees out. Everyone's getting outside. I was just saying at the start of this podcast, it's like, you got to get out there. It feels great. Everybody's out. So I think it's just more people are out walking around. They're excited to get outside. So of course, these bodies that could have been hidden all winter are turning up now because it starts getting cold around here. Like October, there's still nice days, but especially by November, like people don't really get out as much.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, they are now the handful, like I think they're up to about 9 possible victims of this alleged serial killer from March and April. So I guess we're nearly at 2 months now because we're nearly at the end of April. In online discussion, we have seen a few other cases mentioned that people are trying to link together. We'll run through just a few of them because obviously I'm sure in that area there's been a ton of missing people and unsolved murders, but these are the ones that I've seen online that people are suggesting may be related. There's a man named Stephen Gush. He has been missing since March 29th, 2025 from Ledyard, Connecticut. This is around 15 minutes from Groton, which we've mentioned quite a few times. It says Stephen was last seen at approximately 3 p.m. His vehicle and cell phone were located at the Candlewood Hill Wildlife Park on Gold Star Freeway. He is described to have black hair, a thick black beard, tattoos on legs and arms. So he's 38 years old and now he's been missing for almost a month. There's another one, and it's about the discovery of a woman who was missing named Heather Boisvert. In 2023, her remains were found in Coventry, Rhode Island, and she'd been missing since 2017. Her remains were found in April 2023, but she wasn't identified until November 2024, and they had to use DNA and dental records. Police have labelled her death as suspicious. They have said they haven't identified any people or persons of interest in her case. According to NamUs, she was last seen by her family on August 1st, 2017 in Providence, Rhode Island. She was not working and police, which I feel like this is a weird thing to include, but this is what her NamUs says. It says police do not believe she was living alone when she disappeared. So her remains were found in a wooded area in Coventry near the Truman Heights Conservation Area. The last case, which we'll go into a little bit of detail about, is about Abby Flynn, which I've always wanted to do an episode on her case because I find it very mysterious when in reality it's probably not. But Abby Flynn was 59 and she went missing from Gloucester in Massachusetts on Sunday, February 2nd, 2020. She was preparing to host a Super Bowl party. She spoke to her son on the phone and told him that she may go for a walk before her guests arrive, and she has not been seen since. So she has now been missing for over 5 years. When guests arrived at her house around 6 p.m. for the game, the oven was on, but Abby was gone. The chief Conley said there was indication that she'd been at home, that she'd prepped for the party, but she was not there. So that's kind of a really mysterious one. Like, she had all the food out, there was stuff ready for this party. She said, I'm just going to go for a walk, and she never came back. So
Yeah.
it's there's obviously not a whole lot of other information known apart from that, but people are mentioning it in the discussion about this alleged serial killer.
Yeah.
We've been discussing this in our Facebook group. This is one comment I pulled, which was kind of interesting because it is from a local. This person wrote, as someone that lives in Rhode Island, I feel like there is something happening on and off. There were 2 bodies found, I believe, near the Green Airport a few years ago. A body of a child that went missing turned up at Roger Williams Park. Very suspicious how it happened. Today, a body of a man was found in a river. I've been suspicious of this for a while now. So, you know, for every comment like that too, there is probably another comment. Like, I've seen some very angry comments from people like, the media is sensationalizing this. There's absolutely no serial killer. It's an interesting discussion because I feel like a lot of the victims that we have discussed today, the ones that they are trying to link, are very different. So we've got Paige, who was found in the river, Denise, who was suffering from mental health. It sounds like Michelle maybe also have been in a similar situation to Denise, either addiction or mental health, because her family seemed very adamant they know what happened to her. It could have even been a domestic violence type situation for Michelle if they have a clear suspect in mind. And they found the part skull of the male. Stephen Gush, who we mentioned, is trying to be linked. He's a male. So all the victims are very, very different. The race is different. The gender is different. Socioeconomic status is different. Whereas generally, obviously generalizing, serial killers tend to have a type. Like when we spoke about Robert Ben Rhodes, he would pick up the hitchhikers, you know, because he was a truck driver. So that was his preference, was to pick up those type of people. We spoke about the lot lizards, who are the women who are vulnerable and at truck stops, and they are often picked up by serial killers because no one will miss them. All of these people that we've mentioned today are very, very different and have very different circumstances surrounding their disappearance that we know of anyway.
Yeah.
I do also think that the area being discussed is a very large area. It encompasses a number of states. And I feel like people maybe just are grasping at straws, trying to link them together. If this was all happening, for example, in Groton, Connecticut, I'll be like, this is a bit strange. Like, I'm just going to look up how many people live there. Or even one state, it would be a little bit different. But I just feel like it's such a large area.
It's a way bigger area than people think, like I just said before, especially people who don't live around here. So I just looked up, if you want to drive from the top to bottom and bottom to top of what's considered New England, it could take 10 to 14 hours of continuous driving.
Yeah.
From Connecticut to Maine alone would take 5 to 6 hours. New Hampshire, between the southern and northern borders of just New Hampshire, can take 4 to 5 hours. Even, I know I'm in New York is technically not New England, but I live basically on the border of Connecticut. So if I was just in the Connecticut border, to drive up to Vermont, it's like a 6-hour drive. It's a very big area, even though it sounds be like, oh, they're all in New England. It's a big area.
I just looked up Groton because we've mentioned that a lot. That is a small town. It's got a population of around 9,500. So we've mentioned at least 2 instances where kind of strange things have happened. So I do agree that is a little bit unusual for such a small town, but the rest of them are just so varied and so far away and involve so many different people. I just feel like they are probably unlikely to be related. Maybe there is something strange going on in Groton, but these other cases just are probably unconnected.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of, we said this with other big cases like Moscow and stuff. A lot of people do this just for clicks and interaction and engagement. So obviously a serial killer, even the news does it. They want like the big stories. They want the attention. Serial killer is going to get people looking, clicking, and thinking. Maybe people who don't normally follow true crime are like, what do you mean a serial killer? It's just like an attention grabbing headline that I think is used for monetization. I know it could be said like we're doing the same thing technically, but I'm also not feeding into it. Like, I don't think there's a serial killer. I don't think most people should think there's a serial killer. If maybe some of them are connected, that's one thing, but I really don't even think any of them are.
Yeah, it's and even like things that we mentioned, there are so many different locations that these bodies were found. Like Paige was found in a river. The one that we mentioned the other day was found in a river. Today's one was found near a bike path. One was found in a suitcase near a cemetery. A few in the wooded areas. I just feel like it's just so everyone, like a lot of them are so different that they're probably not connected. Like, again, I'm generalizing. I know maybe it could just be someone who has really been totally random and doing whatever they want. But a serial killer generally prepares and will like dump their bodies in certain ways and murder people in certain ways. Whereas these just all seem a bit random to me.
Well, and they're also all in places, like we were saying, the weather's nicer, so where are people going? They're going to bike paths, they're going out on walks, they're going out on hikes, they're going near the water, they're going to visit loved ones in cemeteries or to have a walk in a cemetery. Like, they're all in places where in the winter, when it's 0 degrees out, they're not going to these places.
This episode is sponsored by Noom. If you're like me, you may have seen a lot online about GLP-1 medication. Noom is a leader in behavior change weight loss, and they now offer Noom GLP-1, a compounded semaglutide. Noom GLP-1 is affordable. It starts at only $149. I feel like a lot of people think these type of medications may be out of their reach financially, but Noom offer a very affordable option at $149. For those that qualify, Noom GLP-1 is available and ships to your door in 7 days. Noom combines their proven weight loss program with GLP-1s so that you can lose weight and keep it off, which I know sometimes you can lose the weight. It's always hard to keep it off, but Noom's GLP-1s can really help with that. Noom GLP-1 comes with Companion, which is your guide to better and more sustainable GLP-1 weight loss, which is so helpful.
With Noom GLP-1, you get access to a doctor, a coach, and a supportive community, all from within the app on your phone. Ask your care team anything and get support with medication and side effect management. Noom GLP-1 starts at $149 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, the smart way to lose weight. Disclaimer, not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality.
Imagine for a minute, imagine the best version of you, where you look and feel your best self, where your confidence shines through every day. This is how your skincare routine should make you feel. An easy-to-use system giving your skin exactly what it needs so you look and feel your best. Well, imagine no more, because Meaningful Beauty has arrived. Businesswoman, entrepreneur, and supermodel Cindy Crawford founded Meaningful Beauty with world-renowned cosmetic specialist Dr. Sabah to share his age maintenance-focused skincare treatments and formulas. Cindy has been consistently using this breakthrough age maintenance system to protect her skin and prevent premature signs of aging for over 20 years. If there's proof of the power of consistent age maintenance, you only have to look at Cindy. She's not gorgeous for her age, she's just gorgeous. Inside and out, she's a shining example of a never too early, never too late to start an age maintenance practice that meaningfully embraces your age. Nature provides ways to protect us from the environment, and Meaningful Beauty's secret is a unique and powerful antioxidant derived from a genetically rare melon found only in the south of France, a region known for women having beautiful skin. I love the 7-piece deluxe face and neck skincare system featuring effective serums, treatments, and creams formulated to work together to provide exactly what you need to achieve a more radiant, youthful appearance. Personally, I've been really loving the Youth Activating Melon Serum. It smells so delicious, feels incredible, and my skin looks amazing. And I've been getting so many compliments on how my skin has been looking recently. Over 5 million women have used Meaningful Beauty for its innovative formulas that help achieve radiant, younger-looking skin and hair so you can look and feel your best at every age. That gives you confidence to go out and live your life fully, whatever that means to you. Amazingly, after using Meaningful Beauty for 8 weeks, 100% of women said their skin looks vibrant and bright. It's never too late and it's never too early to start taking care of your skin. Try the Meaningful Beauty 7-piece deluxe face and neck skincare system for 60 days. If you're not completely satisfied, just return the bottles, even if empty, and get your money back. And remember, your confidence is beautiful too. Tomorrow's Gorgeous starts today. Go to meaningfulbeauty.com/glow to receive 25% off and get the Targeted Treatment Duo gift set for free. Go to meaningfulbeauty.com/glow to receive 25% off and get the Targeted Treatment Duo gift set for free. meaningfulbeauty.com/glow.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop, because members get cash back at over 3,500 stores across every category, including fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, and more. Your favorite stores like Walmart, Lenovo, and Wine.com pay Rakuten a commission for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the commission with its members, and that could be you. Cashback is deposited directly into your PayPal account, or if you prefer, Rakuten can send you a check. The choice is yours. You can even maximize your savings by stacking cash back on top of other deals, like store sales and coupons. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
And even just like as one other thought I've had, even with Stephen, who was missing from quite close to Groton, his car was found near a conservation wildlife park. So that indicates to me that he probably went in there and either had an accident or has maybe taken his own life. I just feel like it's probably not connected. It could be wrong. I guess we'll find out. But it's an interesting discussion. My other thought that I wrote down to discuss is that I know it's not the same, but it kind of reminds me of a satanic panic situation where not everyone, but people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon that, wow, yeah, this might be connected. This is weird. This could be really mysterious. This could be a serial killer doing all these murders. Whereas I just feel like, and the media are feeding into it. We're discussing why it could be true or why it may not be true. But I do feel like maybe people are jumping on the bandwagon because it does seem unusual. We did ask on Instagram today if our followers thought there was a serial killer in New England, and 84% have said yes, which I'm surprised about. I did not think it would be that much. 16% have said no. We didn't give any other options, just the two options. So 84% yes, 16% no, which is an interesting split.
I think also another thing is, like, I think I mentioned to you maybe on Patreon or before we were recording, is that now this is like a thing. Every body that gets found in this large area is getting more attention, where really bodies get found all the time, maybe every day. I don't really know, because sometimes when they find human remains off a trail, human remains in the water, human remains in a dumpster, and there's really no information, it hardly makes the news. It makes like small local news, but most people don't even hear about it, especially with just like a piece of a skull or something small. Usually don't even hear those stories, but whereas now you're hearing every single one, and people are like, it's the serial killer. And it's this is why true crime can get like a bad rap sometimes, because it's like it's fun for people to be like connecting the dots and thinking there's a serial killer, and a lot of people don't like step back and see the bigger picture, kind of like how we're talking about, of like it is very different, because a lot of people like to feel like they're connecting the dots and solving something, but it's not like that. That's not like real.
Yeah.
Which, not to offend anyone, but it's not a game that we're playing here. I just don't think that's what it is.
It does remind me a little bit of the smiley face killer, which I do also think is probably not a thing. People just want it to be a thing because it's mysterious, and there are parallel. In that case, I feel like there is more likely to be a serial killer or a group of killers working together as a smiley face, because all these men are found in rivers. But we've gone through why. Like, men are drunk, they fall in when they go to pee, all those type of reasons why there's a bunch of men who are always found in rivers or lakes.
It's also like the reverse thing too, though, where now something like that happens, or people might just be drawing smiley faces near water now because it's like a thing. So it's like reverse of how it really happened.
Yeah. So I guess I feel like we're both on the same page. We probably don't think there is a serial killer. There might be something weird going on in the small town of Groton. That's my thought. But I feel like most of these other cases are probably going to end up being unrelated.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry to ruin everybody's fun, but as someone who has followed true crime for a while, and that's not me. I'm not trying to be like, I am smarter than everyone. I'm a professional. I'm not at all. Just after reading so many stories and hearing so many stories, I just don't see it. I think the distance is way too large. There's no like real patterns.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the weather got nicer and more people went outside.
There is obviously there's some Facebook groups now for this alleged New England serial killer. I have joined some of them just because I'm nosy and I want to read more. And I'll just mention this because I feel like this is kind of what I meant about the satanic panic type thing, where people are jumping on the bandwagon and, trying to involve themselves. There was a post made in one of these groups by by a person with a fake profile named Grinwell Icarus. The profile's now been deleted.
Oh, very weird.
I won't read it all because it's very long, but I'll put it in the blog. But basically, this person allegedly confessed to 6 murders. I'll just read the part about the murders. It says, beneath the ruin, beneath your feet, beneath the threshold where stones give way to salt and memory, you've all been there. Every last one of you, walking, running, smiling, posing. There's a reason your shoes felt heavier. Let the ground keep its peace. It says nothing but holds everything. 6 vertical shells beneath the sand, fixed in place, heads tilted towards the tide. They were loud once. Now the ocean does the speaking. So this person is quite a good storyteller. This is like a really long post.
This person had a creative writing project.
Yes. It finishes off with, no monument, no plaque, just posture. The bodies are vertical for a reason. If you've stood on the right spot and stared long enough, you'll feel it. The pull, the stillness, the truth. Tell yourselves it's just the wind. So this post raised a lot of speculation, discussion, uproar. People are like, the admins need to report it. I'm like, thank God this wasn't our group because what a nightmare. But so apparently the admins did report it. And then this Grinwell Icarus made a whole bunch of other posts indicating that basically it was a hoax, and they just made up the post. So, which I agree, I'm pretty sure it's a hoax. People were speculating about the location where it would be. He went because he talked about the ruins and all that stuff. So it's just one of those things where people are just feeding into it, and it will probably likely not end anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one silver lining of it all is most of these cases probably wouldn't have gotten as much attention without this twist. So I guess that's something that's good, is like their names and pictures are getting out there more. Hopefully maybe it'll put more pressure for their cases to be solved, for the police to prove that it's not a serial killer. Like I think Denise's story alone was probably something that could have been written off as just like, oh, she just had a mental breakdown, like who cares? But it is an interesting story, like what happened to her, and now maybe more people will get that case more attention and the other cases. And some of them, they're like, Denise is Black, so was Michelle Romano. Their cases, sometimes they get swept under the rug. So I guess that could be one silver lining, is that these cases are getting put out there more, even though it probably is more of a headache to the families. Hopefully something good will come out of it. Not good, but hopefully they get justice in the conclusion.
Yeah, something
Obviously
positive will come out of a horrible circumstance.
Yeah.
These are some of the headlines over the last few days. It says, serial killer fears after 7 dead in US. What we know about 6 bodies found across New England, and there's serial killers have spiked. That was from 4 days ago. So since then, we've had these extra bodies as well. New England body discoveries, alarm survivor of suspected serial killer. Another one says, New England serial killer, timing of human remains found across 3 states is curious, expert says. Yeah, so there's a lot. Another one says, New England serial killer, Connecticut Valley River survivor, stabbed 27 times, warns local to remain vigilant. So
yeah, I think a lot of it's just looking for clicks. I bet more bodies will turn up because the weather's going to keep getting nicer. More people are going to get outside.
And
so
even like what you said, even if it does turn out there is no serial killer, and like people will be like, well, that was a shit episode, there's no serial killer. It's very important that these people have their stories told. The remains found in the suitcase, for example, what a horrible, degrading death. Like all of these people need to have their deaths investigated and figured out. And hopefully, like you said, that this kind of renewed focus or increased focus on the area will lead to
the pressure. Yeah. So either way, at least hopefully these cases will get some more attention and more investigating now that they're in the spotlight.
Definitely.
But that is it for the story for now. We will post any other remains that pop up on our Instagram, or if there's a significant amount, we'll talk about them again next week or whatever.
The other thing I was just thinking about it that I meant to mention is the Lady Bird Lake thing as well. So that is, I feel like a similar type of situation where there's bodies appearing there all the time. We did an episode on that. It's a massive lake in Texas. Again, that I feel like that is why that happens there. It's a huge lake. People can go in at many points. There's not a lot of CCTV, all that type of thing. So it's the same kind of scenario where it's very easily explainable, but for some people think there is something else going on.
Yeah, people literally still message me because on that episode I also said I didn't think it was a serial killer. I'm like, how can you not, you idiot? Like, it's definitely a serial killer. I just don't think it is. And I think that now it's become like a dark tourist hotspot in a way, or maybe kind of like similar to the suicide forest. How now it's like a spot that people go to if they want to end their own life or dump a body and have it be like, well, there's a serial killer, have it be thrown off. I just think that happens too.
Anytime we make a post on Instagram about Lady Bird Lake, someone will message and say, so they still say there's no serial killer, ? I'm like, I feel like there's not. Like, I don't know. I guess we could very well be wrong, but I also agree there's not one there.
And people, not to like go on and on about this lake now, people have said there's like no barriers around that lake. There's like steep drop-offs. Like, it's just not very safe.
There's a ton of bars where people leave and are drunk and
So maybe they should like look into putting up some protective barriers at least, but yeah, so if there's any other updates and bodies, we'll be posting them on our Instagram. So make sure you're following us there. We're always posting true crime updates and all that, True Crime Society. And if you want to follow our personal accounts, mine is StephSum_. If you want to message me and yell at me about how there's a serial killer, I probably won't read it. Okay, don't be mean to me. And Olivia is TCS Olivia. If you want to see what we're up to on our Instagrams, check us out on Patreon. We post all the episodes there ad-free. We also do weekly bonus episodes, so you get 2 episodes a week instead of just 1. And we have some fun chats going on there as well. We have a book club chat for people who like to read and talk about books, and we just have some other chats too. I send pictures of Peep, all that. Also do the episodes released a day earlier as well. So check us out on Patreon. Otherwise, all the usual stuff. If you can leave us some nice comments on Spotify and reviews on whatever platform you guys listen on, that's a big help to us. And if you share the podcast, post your Instagram stories, get the word out there, also a big help to us, and we appreciate it so much. But that is it for today. I'm out of breath, feeling a little winded now, so that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe out there. Peace out.
See ya.